Ladies and gentlemen, the topic for the third panel discussion right now is about aligning values, masterclass in managing brand ambassadors. I'll repeat the topic for the panel discussion right now. This is about aligning values, masterclass in managing brand ambassadors. I'll be first introducing our honorable moderator, and then I'll be introducing our speakers in alphabetical order, and then I'll request all of you, our moderator and speakers, to come and join me together on stage. So in the meantime, when I do the introductions, he can get the chairs ready. Thank you. So to moderate this session, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today Manish Porwal, Managing Director, Alchemist Marketing and Talent Solutions, celeb brand practice called Entourage. Manish ji is a multi-specialist in brand and communications, media strategy, celebrity management, and people management with an enthusiasm for being engaged in creating successful business projects. Under his leadership, Alchemist, a young marketing solutions company, brings the value of expertise in the service industry as it consults and executes marketing campaigns, runs digital agenda, provides celebrity interface, creates IPs, and a lot more. Our speakers for the session, ladies and gentlemen, in alphabetical order, we have with us today Mr. Abhijit Bhattacharya, Chief Marketing Officer and Senior VP DLF. Abhijit ji is a seasoned, consumer-centric business leader with diversified experience in brand, marketing, innovation, business planning, consumer insights, digital marketing and transformation, P&L, shopper marketing, and sales and distribution. His experience spans managing a portfolio of established brands as well as building new brands and categories across various sectors. We also have with us today Mr. Deepak Nair, who's the head marketing JP Infra. A result-driven professional, Deepak ji brings years of rich experience in marketing and sales, brand creation and incubation and transformation, PR and media, business process re-engineering, strategic planning, and e-business management. His core functional strengths include marketing and communications, sales and business development, experiential marketing, brand management, GTM, and of course, growth strategy. We also have with us today P. Rajendran, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer, Shapoorji Pallonji Real Estate. P. Rajendran ji brings nearly 3 decades of rich experience across real estate and consumer goods industries. At SPRE, Rajendran's primary focus is on customer satisfaction and has co-created the company's strategic roadmap by completely aligning it with the present and future customer needs. A visionary indeed in the true sense of the term. His initiatives to enhance sale performance and develop innovative marketing strategies are driven by a commitment to delivering exceptional customer satisfaction. We also have with us today Shraddha Goradia, Director, Dosti Realty. Shraddha ji is leading the transformation of the company's culture, keeping in mind a more corporate and global identity. She plays an instrumental role in branding as well as the development of sales and marketing strategies, business development, finance, architecture, design, environment, licensing, and construction within the company. We also have with us today Shweta Rangra, Head Marketing, Hafele India Private Limited. Shweta ji leads the marketing division at Hafele India Private Limited, overseeing a comprehensive range of functions including brand strategy, digital marketing, brand activation, and brand communication. She also holds responsibility for marketing operations in Hafele's branches across Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and of course the Maldives. Shweta ji brings over 15 years of progressive experience to her current role. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, everybody over here, may I please request all of you to clap and appreciate the presence of our honorable moderator and speakers as I request them to kindly join me over here on stage for this very insightful panel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, third panel discussion of the inaugural Realty plus India Brand Leadership Conclave and Awards 2025. Thank you so much. A huge round of applause, please. हम लोग बहुत सारे लोग हैं, as you know, we are all free-spirited. We can do a lot better in terms of the clapping and engagement. Thank you. Truly can't get better than this. Stalwarts in the true sense of the term. And difficult thing to get all of them together under one roof. But then kudos to Realty Plus for managing it. And sir, on that note, requesting you to please take it forward.
A quick disclaimer, just like Govind, I belong to a communication agency and we talk a lot. but another one at that. I'm thankful to Tripti and Sapna and Realty Plus to have given us this August fantastic panel out here, which you will soon realize why it's so fantastic. But just to tell you, there's a small disclaimer here. Most of them have used celebrities, so you may get pro-celebrity views probably somewhere out there. So take it with a little bit of pinch of salt, but it'll be interesting. Celebrity the subject has always been interesting, right? Isn't it? So we'll encourage some amount of participation from all of you as we go along. But thank you all for joining me here. And to begin with, and so that everybody gets a chance to speak at least once in spite of me being here, well, let me throw a first question, and I'd like to take a round starting from Rajendran onwards. A very quick one, while we'll deep down later, but a quick question to all of you. In your opinion, do brand celeb marriages, do they work in bringing real value, or is it just hogwash? And specifically in high involvement categories like you guys are involved in, most of you come from real estate as a sector, and of course, there are exceptions out there. But what do you think these marriages work? And a quick view at that, not very long.
Yeah, sure. So in my view, they do work. It totally depends on the brand objective. Mm-hmm. So if the brand objective is there and there is a brand alignment on values with the persona of the celebrity, then definitely they add value. And it totally depends. It can be a short term or a long term, but definitely the alignment of values with the brand persona is what I will say. If that is there, then there is an alignment.
Even in high involvement categories?
Even in high involvement, because they bring credibility, they bring relatability, they are able to engage with the customers because their persona is a mass thing to them.
Done. Shraddha, what about you? What do you think on this subject?
Yes, I definitely feel they do. I feel a brand is, it's really defined very well by an ambassador. And I would say it's like the ambassador is like the facade to a brand. A brand tells the story of the company. The brand tells the culture of the company. And I feel that, creating a brand is one of the most valuable assets a company can even have.
Okay, Shweta, would you agree as well, in spite of being from a very different category altogether?
So, Manish, honestly, if you would have asked me this question about a year and a half ago, I would have probably said, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe, maybe not. But today, where I sit, I definitely agree with my colleagues and fellow panelists, because for Hafele, particularly over the last 20 years, we've largely been able to develop the brand on a B2B road and roadmap, and there we never really felt the need for a celebrity. But in the recent times, the last few years, we've embarked on a very B2C journey. And the moment you start talking to a B2C audience, it is very important to humanize the brand,
sure,
to carve its personality. And that is where a personality or a celebrity can be very, very effective. So in one word, yes.
Wonderful to see a convert out there, or at least be the honesty that you bring to the table that you did not know before and now you do. Okay, great. Deepak, you have been a serial user of brand ambassadors. I would like to know what your experience has been and what do you think about it?
Well, to set the context right, yes, celebrities in our case have done fantastically well, and I'm a strong endorser and a promoter, and I push the entire concept of having a celebrity on board for campaigns. I think my friends here, they have rightly captured it, saying that the real image and the real image of a celebrity, if there is a good story to it, if it is stitched well, along with the short-term and the long-term objective of either a product or a brand, celebrities can make.
Too many ifs, but assuming all of us are intelligent out there, including the audience out there, would you vote in favor or not?
100% in favor of.
I guess that's written
100% in favor of having a celebrity on board.
Abhijit, come on, give me something different out there. You have been in real estate and you've been in FMCG and you've been doing various different things in the world. I think all of us know about him. So let's understand, how do celebrities work, or do they work in high involvement categories as good as they would have worked in FMCGs, or is there any difference?
So firstly, thank you to Realty Plus and Manish for having me here. Nice to, get out of the, real cold in Delhi and enjoy what is called the Mumbai winter.
And guys, before he starts, let's welcome DLF to Mumbai. So let's give him a big hand out here.
Thanks so much.
That's as much welcome as you'll get for being a Delhi brand in Mumbai.
Yeah, looking forward to, to it.
Yeah.
I think a simple answer, if you were to ask me, I think it depends. Depends on the context of the brand, depends on the context, the stature of the brand and so on and so forth. See, in FMCG, you use celebrities for a variety of reasons, whether it is, you could be building credibility, you could be building trust, you could be building, break the clutter, so on and so forth. Here, I think it needs to be a little different. Here, I think the connection has to be a little deeper, etc., etc. But it again completely depends on the context. DLF, for example, has never practically does not use celebrities. Has never used, because for us we believe the product is the celebrity, or our lifestyle is the celebrity. So again, I think we can talk about it as we go along, but I think it completely depends on the stature, the context, the brand task, etc. As my.
So now that you're entering Mumbai, let me ask a very specific question. Now that you're entering Mumbai and you're a relatively new brand, I won't say people don't know, salience is high, but authenticity of what you're saying may take time to come in. In that case, would you probably, at a personal level, would you recommend using a brand ambassador for yourself?
See, I think what has happened, and I think it's a chat some of us also have, is I think for the Indian consumer, the average consumer, when they see communication, a lot of times they see the celebrity across categories. So now, does the celebrity necessarily bring that level of trust and authenticity that they would have brought 2 decades back, 20 years back, is a question to answer. Simple point, Cadbury, and many of us would probably remember, they had a worms controversy about 20 odd years back.
You got Mr. Bachchan.
They got Mr. Bachchan, and why was Mr. Bachchan got? Because he brought in that authenticity, that trust, unquestionable, right? Now today, celebrities have categories. They would be endorsing 10 brands, and they would say, listen, I have this category open. Do you want to, come on board? Now, it's the 11th category for the consumer, and hence the fact that, a celebrity coming on board will not necessarily work for many other brands which has other, strong assets to leverage and come along, right? So that's the point. So hence, that's the question you have to answer. That, would
so have you answered that question? Will you get a celebrity on board?
Let's kind of wait a few months till we come along, but maybe I've given a point of view here already.
Okay, I didn't get to catch you as much as I wanted to, but I'll move on from there. Let me give you a statistic out here to the panel and to all of you. As per the report that my team took out, the Alchemist Entourage team, the last 1 year, if you look at the number of ads that have happened on television, 32% of them carried a legal, legit celebrity, and about 50% plus carried a known face which had a name associated, right? Not just a face, all of that being in place. That's as big as that. Now my question, and next one in particular goes to Shweta, and then I'll probably rotate it a bit more. In the era of increasing focus of authenticity that we're talking about, in this entire era of authenticity, how do brands leverage celebrity associations while staying true to their core identity? Or is it that the brand celebrity popularity takes over? What happens here?
So, very relevant question for my journey and Hafele's journey. The thing is that, like I said, that for the longer part of our existence in India, and actually all across the world, we are 100 plus years old now. No other subsidiaries ever gone on to this journey of having a celebrity. It's only really India that's ever tried it. We are a family-run business. Very strong on our values. Our values are defined at a hierarchy, which is, first for the people and then also for the brand. And we really live by those values. So when you have such a tight compartmentalized approach to doing business, you always worry whether an external face that has to represent the brand, would he or she do justice, and will he appear authentic towards the values? So we really had to dive very deep, look inwards, introspect, and understand that, first of all, what are our values? What are the objectives that we want to meet? Sure. And then we really went through a screening process of who is that face who can represent these values. Is he also living the same values? Sure. So my core values are being attentive and being determined. As simple as that. That is what Hafele is. And when we were evaluating Sachin Tendulkar to be our brand ambassador, it is obvious, and I'm sure everybody in this room and whoever's watching online would agree with me, that these are the two words that very much define him. He's been so sincere to his career, to his life, and all the principles he lives on. He's extremely determined about what he wants to achieve. So we first tried to marry that, and then when we did that, we realized that yes, he's authentic. The other thing that we did, and we did not miss out on, was introduce him to our environment and our ecosystem. So before we shot with him, we brought him to our showroom in Mahalakshmi, And he spent 3 hours just understanding our products.
I hope the meter was not running that point in time.
No, thankfully not. In fact, he really enjoyed that visit, and he was supposed to be with us for 90 minutes, but that went on for 3 hours, because when he was walking around the showroom, he spent so much time in not just seeing what this particular solution does for me, but how it works. So he went behind the curtains, you know. And then the next day when we shot with him, it was like hand in glove for him, because he was so comfortable operating our products. It's not very, very simple, you know, even our appliances, you need to know how to work with them.
Sure.
And the authenticity started coming on the sets itself. And I knew that
That's
this was a good decision.
That's brilliant, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, Shraddha, I'll move on to you in this case. So you don't have a Sachin Tendulkar and have not burnt a lot of money, but you've had Mr. Anil Kapoor, a good friend, and I think somebody who again gives 100% typically on the set. How was your choice made? Here is somebody who's not amongst the so-called A-plus listers. He's way past his prime, just like Mr. Tendulkar, but not an iconic character, if I may put it in a very simple way. How did you decide to use, and what was the core reason and the benefit to the brand?
So overall, Dosti is known to be very transparent as a company, as a brand. We believe in integrity, transparency, and timely delivery and possession. We are not that brand that is very, like, you know, out there or into the glam world or something. So we wanted a celebrity that could really suit the brand's culture. Secondly, as the word Dosti, it says friendship, right? So we wanted somebody who was a very pleasant personality also. And thirdly, we wanted someone that would fit in very well with the promoters and, you know, the culture of the company in general, as in, like, you know, from the company is driven by which promoters. So we wanted like a very successful face, but we wanted somebody very low-key and modest, and someone who is not very, like, you know, flamboyant about his work, even though his work is very good, because that's how the promoters of the company are, and that's how the organization is played on most of the time. So it's just known as a very modest organization, and it's known as a very good builder. We are just known as a very, very ethical builder within the community. So that's how we did scrutinize a couple celebrities, and we did come up to Anil Kapoor, and I feel it was like one of the most, it was the best decisions we've ever made, because we as promoters and him and his team, we got along very well together. In fact, he would even come with us on like the tiniest Zoom calls, guiding me and my brother, who's the director of the company, as to what would he want to bring value on, how he would want to bring value to the project. And it was very nice of a celebrity to even work along these lines, because generally they don't get into such nitty-gritty details.
Shraddha, you're definitely spoiling a lot of clients out there who'll expect all this to happen.
Yeah. No, overall, it was we've had a very professional, amicable, friendly relationship with him, and you know, the relation has been so good that he also wants to work with us for a long-term basis, and even we are like, okay, now, you know, let's explore this even from a long-term
Okay,
perspective.
I'll move on quickly, Rajendran. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Rajendran, you've worked with some absolute top-end brands, just like Abhijit. You've started your career somewhere around, if I may say, real estate in Tata, and today you are with Shapoorji. With such monoliths, such large brands, how do you see celebrities working in that space? You still hired the services of a celebrity in your case, in fact, a couple in your case. How does it work for you, and what are the learnings that the others should take from there when you already have a brand which is a fairly smartly well-known brand in the market?
Sure. See, both the brands I've worked with are 150 plus years brands in the country.
Correct.
Whether you take Tata or Shapoorji, Shapoorji is also 157 years old. So there is no need to establish the brand through a celebrity.
Sure.
So as I mentioned earlier, it is the specific objective which drives whether I need a celebrity in a campaign or even to drive a platform. For example, we have used Saurav Ganguly for our Joyville brand at Shapoorji. It's a platform branding that we have done. It's not a project branding. He is available across the projects for the platform. So we have projects across Mumbai, Pune, Howrah, Gurgaon, and all across we have the same personality. Now the relatability of that personality was the leadership character. The traits that he was bringing on board was he is very relatable, he is mass, it's trustworthy, he has never had a scandal in his entire career. So there is trust which is built. So that platform required something because we were establishing a new platform of aspirational homes under Shapoorji. So it required. In Tata, I never needed to do that. We approached a different route when we set up the Tata Value Homes also at that point of time. As against that, we have also used Shahid Kapoor and Meera for our Vanaha project, which was a premium project. But in that, we were launching a luxury project within the project, which was golf-facing township.
Sure.
So when we were using golf-facing township, we wanted somebody, and we were promoting for the first time in the country, we were promoting a family golfing. We were not promoting a golf course where professionals can come and play. We were promoting a township with a golf course where family golfing we wanted to promote.
I get that,
So
yes.
there we had Shahid and Meera as an ideal couple who were running a family, they had their own kids, and we saw that there is a relatability of a family moving in. So that required us to find an aspirational family being shown as part of the township and playing golf, and people should aspire to do that.
Rajendran, if I may ask, and if I may ask an authentic answer to this, weren't there murmurs and anxieties in the boardroom about why do we as brands, which are 150 plus years brands, need to use a celebrity? Are we falling that short in consumer expectation?
Yeah,
Or
so
what
that is where. So we had to specifically bring the objective. The objective was that in a mid-premium township, we are bringing a luxury brand. And when you bring a luxury brand, when your projects are side by side, one is golf facing and one is not golf facing, how do you get the premiumness? So here the objective was to get that premium within the same project. Now when you are looking at a premium within the same project and you have a product, as Abhijit rightly said, there is a product which is, you are having a golf facing township. Now you need to promote. So we had to break the clutter. Like if you know, there are a lot of townships promoted across Mumbai. So there are in Panvel or in outskirts of Pune, which are already having golf townships. We had to break the clutter. We had to break the clutter in two ways. One is it is part of the township. It is not a separate thing. Secondly, we wanted families to engage in golfing.
I get that, but
So-
were there, when you're making that decision, were there enough people saying, do we need a celebrity? Was that happening?
There were questions, but
Yes.
once this objective was clarified,
Okay.
and what is it bringing? For example, it may come later. The pricing there going around was, for example, 6,000 to 7,000 rupees a square feet
Correct.
for a non-golf facing. And our attempt was to bring it to about 12 to 13,000 rupees for the golf facing one. So when you're looking at that kind of premium, you need to break the clutter. You may need to make it more aspirational than what the product itself can do.
So breaking the clutter, making it aspirational, I get those two, and even for brands like yours. Deepak, I'm coming last to you in this round, but let me ask a very simple question. You're a serial user of celebrities, from Kalki to Karan Johar to Sunil Shetty, and now I believe you're engaging an A+ star. Yes. There must be a belief change overall in the organization. What was that belief change? What were the ups and downs? Are there any stories to share that changed the entire thought process from no celebrities to so many of them?
When you look at it exclusively from the point of view of JP Infra, as a challenger brand, the reason why you pick a celebrity changes completely.
Okay.
From an aspirational product point of view, we've not engaged with any celebrity at a long-term level. We wanted to minimize the lead life cycle and wanted revenue realization at the earliest.
Sure.
At the same time, we wanted to make sure that there is a steady increase in the pricing, thereby ensuring profitability. Okay. All these celebrities that we took answered or helped us navigate or mitigate a problem at that point of time and launch a product. Okay. So if I have to give you an example, let me give you an example of a product in Meera Road. So Meera Road generally had a very apologetic history to itself.
Sure.
Right. We had to break the clutter, ensure that the product becomes the talk of the town. Of course, the product has its own merit. The brand is established. It has to bring in a fair amount of trust. In spite of commanding over 30% market share of all primary sales that happen in that micro market, we had to segment a product completely different. Okay. So we were bringing a product which has a 5-floor mall, and there was a residential setup of 45 floors above the mall footprint. We were trying to figure out what is the story that we had to stitch here. In the aspirational category, we wanted to tell people that, listen, you have an opportunity to live a better life, a lifestyle change. More so, with this, you have the opportunity to feel like a star. And then we had this huge brainstorming session, which even you were a part of.
Disclaimer, I was a part of that.
Yes, he was a part of that brainstorming session. And then came out a very novel idea that how do we bring in disruption yet carry the moral values of the organization. I think everyone's spoken about that in depth, so I'll not touch that. Carrying all the positive traits of the brand and this project, and then bring up product. And then we zeroed down upon Karan Johar. Prima facie, everyone had a lot of questions. Why Karan Johar? Is this the right fit? Should we do it? Should we not do it? What happens? Then there was a detailed analysis on the real image versus the real image of the celebrity and the fitment with this product. Then we came up to this and we launched it under the name of Star Life. Now, because Karan Johar was known to launch Star
Yes,
Kids.
that was a big move, changing the name of the project based on
We changed
celebrity.
the name of the project
yes.
purely from the celebrity standpoint. How does this help? One cannot ignore the fact that today channel partner contribution or your sales team is the one who's sitting at that table and convincing the customer. Are you giving them a story to narrate? Do they have a story to talk about? And does the celebrity help them navigate and mitigate all the potential risks that a location or a product or an investment of this high value bring into the table? So the answer was yes, and Karan Johar helped us navigate.
Thanks,
that.
Deepak, for a long but good answer on this one. I'm going to Abhijit. Abhijit, everybody feels there is this warm and fuzzy feeling about using celebrities, as I understand. Let's get to some hard numbers. Is there an ROI matrix, and I'm asking you and I'll ask Rajendran as well on this question. Is there something in which you can say that there is a genuine ROI on the subject, or is it just a boardroom decision that let's take a celebrity because it sounds nice, it feels good, etc., etc.? What is the basis? Now, a lot of FMCGs do a lot of research pre and post, and they're able to see the changes in the brand tracks on that. Most real estate brands, let's be honest, don't do those. How do you figure out the ROI? Is it just intuitive, or do you really get them?
Yeah, so I think you've partly answered the question yourself. See, in a lot of environments which is far more analytical and data-led, and this comes fundamentally from what you want to achieve. So if there's a certain brand task, and as I said, you might want to break the clutter, you want to build trust, you might want to have certain brand associations, etc., etc. So what is it that is, and you check that later on in your post-research to see that whether you've got an uplift in each of these things. And some of the common pitfalls are, I have had a particular example in my previous employment where we used a celebrity for a very specific regional market, used a regional celebrity, and we thought the fit was good, but finally when you build the communication, what people remembered was the celebrity's name, but they could not actually bring up the, the brand that kind of worked on it.
Sure.
So, so the question is, when you put up that, so if you're seeing an uplift on each of these measures, is it good? The real estate scenario, if you're not using some of them, I think perforce then it becomes a little subjective.
Sure.
But are you again from, your subjective understanding on each of these things, seeing an uplift, etc., would be a good measure of ROI, in my opinion.
Okay.
The other, of course, ways to look, and it's like, how you select the celebrity in terms of their popularity, in terms of, their association, etc., etc., etc. Are you seeing that happening and transferring to some of these things is, I think, the way to kind of look at that.
Wonderful. Rajendran, same question to you, but with a little different perspective. With the top brands that you work with, and people, I would reckon that these are very rational brands, or at least rational companies. Do you actually take up any quantitative understanding before or after you've engaged a celebrity, or how does it work?
Yeah, so basically I will get little more technical, like where Abhijit started. I will try to get into the nitty-gritty. So basically, again, objective of the campaign.
Sure.
Is it a launch? Is it a long-term association? What is that we are looking for? Are we driving awareness? Are we driving likes? Are we driving traffic to the project?
Sure.
What is the objective? So once the objective is clear, and then we have a budget in place, then we know what we are spending and what we are expecting.
Okay.
So towards the end of the campaign, I would definitely like to look at based on the objective. So if the objective was awareness, I will look at all the metrics that is there on the awareness platform. Today, it is not only the website traffic, it is also the social media traffic, it is also the engagement levels in the social media that I will look at. If it is walk into the sites, Then I have my matrices before and after, how much I have driven the traffic to the site, how I have supported my sales team with more walk-ins. So I will have that as a matrix. If my idea was like in case of Vanaha, to get a premium, for example, we were targeting around 11,000 rupees, 11,000, 11,500. But ultimately we ended up achieving an average price of 13,000 rupees. So definitely it made sense for me to go with.
Did you separate this premium that you achieved?
Yes.
From the advent of the celebrity?
Yes, so
other,
it was
other marketing
specifically,
mix issues?
so we launched Vanaha Golf Lands with Shahid and Mira.
Right.
We did not have that project before that.
Right.
But we had a non-golf facing project. So we understood that, okay, if I am going for golf facing with the kind of product specifications that I am giving, I definitely need to get at least 11,000 rupees return on that. But we ended up making 13,000 rupees. And we still sold out. The phase 1 got sold out, phase 2 was launched, even that has got sold out.
Okay.
So with the premium. So if my idea is to get the premium, my ROI will be driven by that. So what is the objective has to be clearly stated at the time of the campaign. Now whether it is with celebrity or without celebrity. Now if you ask me the matrices, typically I would spend about a 20 to 30% of my entire campaign cost on a celebrity plus shoot, is what I would say. Rest
So could we take it the other way around, which is if you're spending X on a celebrity, then you should spend at least 3 to 4x
3 to
on
4x
utilization.
On yes.
That's
Otherwise, if you have a very good campaign, but there is no money to promote.
Correct.
We don't want that to happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I'm moving on to you, Shraddha, and maybe taking this question a little more deeper and intrusive, so answer as much as you can. But let me ask, in the corridors of your company, which is a fairly owner-led and a very, very conservative initially and now getting out of the open, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Would you have calculated that, okay, this is the money that I spend on the celebrity extra or incremental along with all the shoots, etc., and this is the money, therefore, I need to recover per square foot on the, changes?
Definitely. I think the cash flow calculation is done much before the project has started.
Okay.
And I feel every campaign also there is a calculation based on that because.
So did you get a matrix like Anil Kapoor cost me 15 rupees per square foot?
I mean, not exactly, but
Yeah,
we did budget it out very well. At the same time, we still keep budgeting things here or there because, based on the rates that are prevailing every quarter and based on the economy and the premiums that are added in, sometimes, we do increase the prices or sometimes we do give in certain discounts based on the campaigns that we are coming in. So the Anil Kapoor shoot is played around on those around that range. At the same time, we do cut down on a couple things also. So a couple times, his shoot is placed out in such a way that maybe we'll do his shoot for one day and then the other half day he'll be like, let's do it after 2-3 months. So based on the volume that we are getting, based on how the campaign is going and just based on the market trending at that time, either the other shoot gets cancelled or we take it forward.
Another friend of mine who couldn't join the panel today would have been Rohit Gera, who has used
nice.
the celebrity, which is Amitabh
Yeah.
Bachchan. I was, again, fortunate enough to have directed Mr. Bachchan on this one. And I must tell you that we actually meticulously planned on the rate per square foot that we can take up because of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan across properties.
It's very important because I think, for Gera, I can say they used Amitabh Bachchan as the brand ambassador of the company.
Yes.
He used Anil Kapoor as a brand
For a
ambassador
project.
only for project.
Yes.
But when it comes up, if today we were looking at somebody from a company perspective, oh my God, the rate per square foot would have been marked every day,
So that's a very interesting perspective. And Deepak, I'm coming back to you also with a similar question. Since your belief as a company has grown up in celebrities, I've noticed. What is it? Do you actually calculate the premium received or the kind of pace in sales, or how do you measure it?
Everything, right from cost per lead to cost per walk-in to the increase that the premium that we can command per square foot. It is monitored to levels that I can't even
So if
express
selflessly
here.
you have to promote, will you say that yes, celebrities largely work? Is that what it-
Celebrities largely work. Manish, I think I already touched on this. What is it that you're trying to achieve from that celebrity and what is
I
the
get that,
story that you're bringing on table?
Okay.
If that falls in place, I think...
So let me ask you a little further on the storytelling bit. So if you have a choice between great story and a celebrity, Or should it only happen when it works together? My great friend and mentor, Piyush Pandey, did not believe in celebrities largely. He said, doesn't work. If you have a great story, you don't need it at all. So my question is it the cost of story, or is it something else? The
It's the story. It's always the story. You crack the story, and then the celebrity falls in place. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, then the celebrity helps you in a burst of visibility. What it helps you is it helps you front load your numbers. You can have a good spike, but a sustained spike or a sustained revenue, sustained sales are never achieved by that celebrity. It's essentially the other attributes of the product, which is the product itself, the brand. That is what takes it forward. But yes, to have that burst of visibility, to have that initial momentum going, and to reduce your lead life cycle, I think celebrity works.
Okay. Shweta, coming to you, and you have this advantage and unique advantage of not at all knowing or being a part of this real estate community on this one. So let me ask you from another perspective. Celebrities were monoliths, big. Once upon a time, we had, in cricket, we had Sunil Gavaskar and Kapil Dev and nobody else. Today, even a Bumrah, and I'm not putting it with any disrespect, but he can get an endorsement, and so can Mohammad Kaif, even who's a past cricketer, etc., etc. Today is the advent of a lot of influencers in the market. Has that brought down the usage of celebrities in any way? Should that bring down? Are influencers the new celebrities? Or how do you see it?
So first of all, Manish, it's not entirely true that real estate is not connected with Hafele. We are one of the biggest component providers to the industry. So I'm happy to be sitting in this August company because most of them are our customers. Coming to your question, so I think that it is a ecosystem that can accommodate both, and it really depends on your objectives. For us, we use both. So we are using a celebrity and we are using influencers too. And the way we are doing this is that we've positioned the celebrity at the brand level. So he's doing the storytelling for the brand. And he's really carrying the brand message forward, and it's more long-term and it's strategic in nature. Whereas influencers are more tactical and campaign-based. So for example, in our ecosystem or our industry, we sell appliances. And it really helps if these home chefs come in every now and then to do a short burst of a tactical campaign, push a festive offer to the customer. So, and have a more local reach, So it's about basically the horizontal reach which the main celebrity can bring in, and the more vertical reach to a particular city or region of the country which a influencer can help with. So to answer this or summarize it, for me, the celebrity, the way it's working for us is he's at the brand level, strategic, long-term, and consistent. For the influencers, tactical, campaign-based to meet smaller objectives for a shorter period. Could be lead generation, could be pushing your festive offers out, could just be for an event, like an exhibition, where you're introducing a new product, could be to launch a new product as well. So a coexistence is how I feel it works.
Rajendran, as a CSMO, both sales and marketing rest on you, right? Again, the same question. Are influencers a smarter move for sales than large celebrity associations? Will that get you in the same money? Assuming that there is always a limited money chasing the marketing goals, what would you like to invest more in?
Okay, so I will take on from where Shweta mentioned. So the celebrities still have the mass appeal, the larger than life appearance that they have for the people. That cannot be replaced by the influencers, at least as of today, unless they also become or get to that aura level. So definitely the celebrities are here to stay for a brand level communication, as Shweta said, and for a long term. Like, for example, a Saurabh Ganguly for Joyville stays. But for my specific projects, I may use influencers. So like I have used real estate influencers to showcase my new product. I have used real estate influencers to showcase my new show flat, for example. And the detailing of the project. I don't expect a celebrity, Saurabh Ganguly, to come and explain a particular project to a customer. But an influencer can. But what this has put pressure on the celebrities is that somewhere they also started feeling the pressure that some money is going there, for example. So they have also started doing this hybrid kind of a thing.
Correct.
So for example, when we use Shahid, or now we are using Saurav, or for any celebrity for that matter today, the original ad campaign still remains, the brand campaign still remains, but they are still putting in that one tweet, one podcast, one digital presence somewhere, because they don't want to miss out on the Gen Z or the segment. Like for example, if I talk today, the Gen Z today is a customer for me 5 to 7 years or maybe 10 years from now. So I need to be in his mind as a brand that he can consider. Now, unless I am present in the medium where he is present, or even the celebrity ambassador also today understands, a Virat Kohli or a Sachin Tendulkar understands that I cannot just speak on TV or a theater. I need to be present on digital.
So, Rajendran, are you saying that what we have been hoping for a very long time, where brand endorsers become brand ambassadors and monologues become conversations, is that
I would
happening
say
now?
endorsement is becoming engagement.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
endorsement is converting to engagement. So it is no longer endorsement. People can see through the two lines that Dhoni is speaking. But
Okay.
if Dhoni is found to be using a product or endorsing, engaging with a customer or engaging with the brand, like I'll give you an example, like I think Shraddha also mentioned, when we were doing the campaign for Vanaha, Shahid was involved in the creative aspect of it. Like small things like even Diwali messages, we had shot with him to be showcased on the digital medium at some particular point of time. And he had creative inputs to give to the agency and us, which was considered. And when that is considered, you see the engagement level. Like he stayed on, to be honest, you would not like it, but he stayed on 1 extra hour shooting the product. And he did not charge for it because he was engaged with the
Sure.
product at that point of
We
time.
had a very similar experience with Mr.
Yeah,
Tendulkar.
I would say most professional people go by celebrities go by what they're bringing to the table rather than just about ours. Ours are
Correct.
there for the agreements,
Correct.
of course. But then if they find it authentic, they use, and you're not trying to just bulldoze them into doing various things, they do that.
But
extra.
flying them in a helicopter to Pune helped actually. So
Yes, yes. Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
The fine prints are coming out.
Yes, those are the. I had a question for you, Abhijit. You talked about how Cadbury's long back for you got some amount of respite from the risk that Cadbury's was facing, right? Let's reverse it. My business allows me to talk to a lot of celebrities in a very professional way. And I've noticed a lot of them actually say no to real estate. Or if they don't say no to real estate, they're at least wary of it, ever since the Amrapali case, etc. Now, how do you, in the reverse, mitigate a risk for the brand, I'm saying, which can happen with a celebrity? So let's say you have a celebrity, you've taken him or her, and there happens something wrong with the celebrity. It could be very simple thing like somebody taking a Saif and Saif going through some amount of trouble that he is going through right now. Could be one variety. Or the other variety, which is worse, which is, let's say, somebody gets entangled in a controversy. And here is a long-term brand association. How do you mitigate? And is it worth that risk at all for brands, big brands, or no?
Mitigation, of course, is a function of some agreements, etc., etc. That's one. Two, of course, with a lot of celebrities, you might probably have a long-term, meaningful, relationship, and hence you ride through some of these small-term hiccups. So that's one part. But I think the mitigation part is more, a tactical part of agreements and so on and so forth. So
No,
it's
I'm saying
probably
beyond
that.
the agreement. You've
Yeah.
used somebody for 1.5 years, let's say.
Yeah.
You have another year and a half to go, and the celebrity gets entangled in some controversial space. I'm not saying necessarily proved, but some controversial space. How do you mitigate? How do you kind of completely give up on that brand ambassador, like some people did with the very well-known golfer once upon a time? Or what do you do?
No, I think it depends on what it is.
Okay.
It depends on the very well-known golfer was involved in something that was socially completely unacceptable, and
Right.
hence brands took a stand. So it's important for you to realize the context in which the celebrity is in trouble, and you take a stand accordingly according to the values of the brand. And consumers are watching brands strongly, and just a corollary to the discussion that you just had, you have to think, why did influencers come up? Influencers came up because customers felt advertising was not authentic and influencers were authentic. Now, if increasingly people are seeing influencers all over.
Sure.
So consumers are looking at brands being authentic in their conversation, user-generated content and so on and so forth, right? So hence as a brand also, if you take a stand in such a situation, you might actually come across as somebody which is, or who is, there for the long term and so on and so forth and not opportunistic. But it completely depends on the situation and so on and so forth. So that's what I think it is. What the second part of the question was? Do you?
No, just this one, that how do you mitigate this risk, if at all you do, or do you take a hard stance? Where
No, I think it will depend on, honestly, I think it will depend on the situation. It will depend on the sort of trouble. I mean, let's say you're a brand who's, kind of tied up itself and there is a problem. I don't think you throw him out like a hot potato, right? You
No,
kind of-
definitely not throw him out, but there are
Yeah.
issues associated. Let's say your shoot coming up with Saif and he's not available.
Yeah.
Now, those kind of things. Now, do you wait for the product to be launched in real estate, like which had to be launched? I mean, I'm sure some of us are facing those real issues on a day-to-day basis. Saif is right now involved with the Delhi brand, I know, and they must be facing that issue of how can you use, how much to use, or if there was a shoot coming up, and so on.
No, I mean, see, you'll have to take those practical calls depending on what it is. But I think fundamentally what should shine through, in my opinion, is what you stand for as a brand. And take a call depending on what it is. I think fundamentally some of those practical issues will have to be dealt with, of course. And whether it merits pushing back a launch is I think it depends. But I think that's the way I would kind of look at it. But fundamentally, I think it's important to be, you take the right step as we can do it.
Okay. I had a lot of questions coming up, but I have this face of Tripti and Sapna out there. I'm sure they're looking at me, and there is a red flag out there which says time's up. So I'm not going to take too much time, but I'm going to do some little activity which may help just the lighter side of it. So I want to hear one favorite celebrity story of yours along with your brand. Something that people might not have heard and that you had a very interesting thing. I'm sure some of you have had some interesting bouts. I don't know whether there was a Chakas bout out there for you or no, but I'll start with Rajendran and go back here. Is there a favorite celebrity story that you've had in connection with your brand?
So
Just for fun.
I have worked with 2 celebrity campaigns in real estate, which I just mentioned. So nothing much to talk about, but as I mentioned, one of the things was obviously the time was running out and he supported us with that. But it so happened that while the shoot was on, the news went around because it's Pune, right? So the news went around, and one of the brands which was potentially trying to tie up with the celebrity ended up bringing the product there to see whether they can do a small gig with him there, which didn't work out, to be honest. But
I'm
that
sure
was
Shai is
something
smarter than that. Yeah.
So that was something that it could have gone against, but I think somehow it was managed.
Shraddha, yours?
I mean, I don't
Mr. Kapoor is a very interesting character, I know that for sure.
I mean, I don't have any celebrity story as such. I just feel every experience with him was very unique, personal, professional. I just think we just had a good time, all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I would
I respect that. What about you, Shweta? Shweta, you met the man himself, right? I have had the pleasure of meeting him only thrice in my life and never giving him the money for it. So I couldn't make him do what you
Lucky
could.
you.
Yes. Tell me the story.
No,
that,
like
that worked.
Shraddha said, the overall experience was really good. Of course, the thing is that with Sachin Tendulkar, I was talking to Deepak earlier in the break, and he just said he's God, Shweta, he's God. So there's this overwhelming persona that he walks in with. And honestly, I'm not a cricket fan. I've never been. So, of course, I have a lot of respect for him. But from a distance, I was always on the fences when it came to cricket and Sachin himself. But, when I finally met him, there's so much of that value system that just shows up that, there is a moment where you freeze, honestly. Like, you lose words. And after you overcome that in a few seconds, then he's so grounded, and he's actually very easy to talk to, and he really, really wants to understand what he's going to represent. So that experience was really good. And like Rajendran said, even Sachin spent an extra hour on the sets because he was not okay with certain takes that we had okayed as clients and agency, but he said, no, we should do it one more time. So just the sheer sincerity and authenticity of that man.
So, Ayla, no story? But okay, that goes very well.
You know, he actually is a very good orator. You know,
He's
really built
he's
up.
fantastic, and he's grown over brilliant.
This whole voice tonality has been built up, but he really speaks well.
Thanks to Chetan, it has been built up.
Yeah, I guess
That's the reality. Deepak, we'll quickly move on to you, and then to Abhijit.
And I still second, I want to repeat this again, Sachin is God. Yeah. So, with Sunil Shetty, I'll narrate an episode with Sunil Shetty. So we have this compulsive need of ye bhi bulwa do, ek aur line ye bhi add kar do. The beauty of working with him was that he was so invested in the script. There, we were shooting with some of his on-screen roles, and we were adapting it into another campaign and then taking it forward. He was so invested in that role. He made us change the costume. He altered the script a little and said, no, you know, this character, when I was playing this persona in that movie, represented this. So let's change the copy lines, let's change the content to this. It was a brilliant addition and it did wonders for us, but yes.
What Deepak is not telling is that I was the script writer and he changed my script. But that's fine.
In totality.
Yes, Abhijit, yours.
So, I'll probably take a very recent example. This is one of the tennis legends of the country, and we're kind of doing something with him. I mean, nothing to do with, a campaign or anything, but something else. And in the first conversation, some personal connect came out, the same city and so on and so forth. And, the club that where he learnt his tennis had kind of been there, and it says, and I mean, frequenter there, and, it says, he was a boy and he's learned there. So when I kind of narrated to him, I think that stuck in his mind. So every time, he talked, I mean, he actually forgot my name. He used to refer to me as Mr. XYZ, as the name of that, and so on and so forth. So what shown to me was the humility, then, the thing to, connect personally. I mean, he's a legend, right? The ability to connect personally with these small things. So those, I think, are very nice things that, found out.
Very interesting. Allow me to give you a story which I guess all of you will love and like as well. So, I was lucky, very, very lucky to have my debut direction with Mr. Bachchan. I mean, imagine he allowing somebody to direct who has never directed before, and I did that. And interestingly, when we were doing the photo shoot in between the film shoot, we were trying to get him to do some action shots here and there. And while my assistant was trying to get that, I quickly told the assistant, don't do it. He's 85, I mean, And I said it under my breath. Intelligent the man that he is, and the way he hears things, he said, Chote Malik? He was calling me Chote Malik throughout the shoot because I was representing the client out there, so Chote Malik. I can't get over that one. So he said, Chote Malik, ek minute idhar क्या बोला आपने? आपने बोला मैं 85 का हूँ और मैं jump नहीं कर सकता. आप देखिए, ये shot लीजिए. And Mr. Goradia was shooting, and he said, and I said, action. And he, Mr. Bachchan, at 85, after 7.5 hours of shoot already there, jumped 2.5 feet up in the air. That shot, by the way, is the front page ad of Gera, a client of mine in Pune Times, about 2 weeks back. He's jumped 2.5 feet at 85, landed very safely, and he says, "Kuch bolna chahte the?" And that was one of my lovely stories out there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having given us a fair share of your ear. And thank you, my August panel, for having given us fantastic stories. I was lucky enough to have a very interesting session to myself. Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, Tripti. And thank you, Realty Plus. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to all of you as well. And when knowledge and wisdom is blended with storytelling, it already becomes all the way more interesting. A huge shout out to all of them. Please, once again, I see a full house. We can clap even louder. Thank you.